right? Yay!
Right.
We're here. We're
Mhm.
here, and I'm so glad that you're here, Kamal. And welcome, solution seekers, and welcome to the Painful Truth, where we dive deep into conversations, and usually uncomfortable conversations, in order to grow as a human being. And I'm so excited today for our first guest, and I want to introduce to you guys Kamal, and she's going to talk about her
Hi
journey
guys.
with cancer. Yay! Hi,
Hey.
Kamal.
Yeah.
So I think it's best to just kind of start at the very beginning, Kamal. We would love to know who you are, what you're
Yeah.
about, and just a little bit about your life.
So my name is Komal and I'm actually from UK. Basically, I live in UK in Manchester. So sorry about my sound here. But I am originally from Denmark, so I'm actually Dane. And my ethnicity wise is half Pakistani, half Indian, so I'm actually both wise. And I have American accent because I've been taught like in English, American English in Denmark for such a long time. So I caught it up there, the accent, because a lot of people say that, and a lot of people wants to know my accent. So I just want to say straight away. At the moment, I'm not working because I have cancer, and I was diagnosed with cancer last year, 2021, and I am 32 years old, so I'm still young, not married, no kids. So yeah, I mean
Okay,
that's a
awesome.
short
Y-
introduction. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you're actually from Denmark. That is very interesting, actually.
Yeah.
When did you come over to the UK?
I think 7 year. No, not 7 years. Sorry. 9 years ago. I think 9 years ago, almost 10 years. Yeah. 2013. So if we were talking about 2013, so it's like 9 years ago, basically. Because I came here for studies. I'm glad I mean, I finished my studies, filmmaking, animation, motion graphics. So that's what I've been studying. Studied basically, and obviously I thought doing YouTube would enhance my skills, and I think that's the bonus point that I can share people my skills to people. And I think the main reason of starting YouTube was morely just moments of my life, but cancer just came in my way, and I can't obviously, I just want to be true to myself, because you can't just like be you can't fake it, or you can't pretend nothing's going wrong. But I think in the upcoming vlog, people will notice something, that there's something, eyelashes missing, there's some, she's getting thin, you can see bones. I think it's very for me, it was very important that I tell people, my audience, who they are, like literally talk about myself, like, okay, I got diagnosed with cancer, well, what's going to happen next? And I was a bit curious to share my cancer journey, because there's so many people, and I was thinking, oh my god, there will be a lot of judgment and everything. After looking at I think one lady, her name is Tiffany, and I see on her YouTube, Tiffany thinks she has colon cancer. She's also based in UK, and I think I got so much motivation from her. When if she can share so much detail about her cancer journey, I think she had motivated. I actually wrote to her as well that you truly have motivated me to talk about my cancer journey, and it's so thanks to her, like hats off to her, because she's right now currently dealing with surgery. I mean, she's just want to be cancer free. I hope she
Yeah,
does.
I actually follow her. I actually follow her, and
Oh,
I've been
that's good.
watching
That's
her Christmas vlogs. Yeah, I actually
yeah,
want
yeah.
to interview her as well. That'd be cool to get y'all both on here.
But I
And I
think the thing is,
agree.
she's in surgery, I think, at the moment. So she's in the hospital. So I don't think
Yes.
she would be, I don't know,
No,
available
not
at
right
the
now.
moment.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm
Yeah,
so
but
happy for like she's been sharing, and I think I got the idea of sharing my journey, so that it's quite different, because it's got, everyone has different cancer, and everyone has the way of dealing with cancer, because everyone dealing with grief, dealing with how I'm dealing with. I think I have been very reserved person, so I'm not like too open about it, because I feel like this is confidential. I can't say these things. I can't say certain things. But I think I can't keep it too much emotions inside me. I need to like some days it's gonna be bursting out, and I rather just say it, than keeping it inside. I think it kind of helps with my anxiety as well, because I have anxiety, I have depression as well. So I just want to like get it out, and I feel like really relaxing, really like emptied when you actually went it out. My recent video was truth about cancer, where I think I talked about in my emotions, how I felt. And I think that was needed, because it was a day before I went to award function. I was nominated as hen artist, best hen artist, and I actually won the award. So things has been crazy wheel. You could say a wheel scenario for me, but I think it is best for me to talk about things about especially my cancer diagnosis. I think a lot of people are interested about symptoms. I already mentioned it in my videos. If you might have seen symptoms about my cancer, I think that's very important because I think whoever I meet, people even online, offline, people tell me what were your symptoms, so that we know, we have like lumps in my neck, or I had no lumps in my neck, that time, and the only thing I had issue was the spleen. The spleen was enlarged 3 times larger, so currently, I'm still dealing with it because it's not normal size. It's like 3 times larger. It's like, so if you say, for example, this one, it's a fist, right? This is the size of your spleen should be, right? But it was 3 times larger, and it was hard for me to stand up, sit down, sleep. Last year was like a do or die situation because I was declining so easily, and they were like saying, well, either you get treatment as soon as possible, or if you want to get your pre-surgery, which is the freeze eggs and, or the menopause thing, then you can do, then you can speak to the advisor, but we suggest you to get your treatment as soon as possible because you're declining very easily, and they want to. And I was like, okay, then why are you telling me about pre-surgery? You should have talked about, you should just tell me I should just get my treatment as soon as possible. But they didn't. The Manchester Infirmary Hospital was not very clear, and I didn't get a clear vision or mixed signals a lot, and that's why I moved to another hospital, the Christie Hospital. I think if you heard it, it's
Mhm.
quite big in Manchester, and it's quite big, scattered everywhere, basically. In UK, it's for me, right, because I am Danish citizens as well, but I have got Danish passport, but um basically I don't have British passport. I got Danish passport, and I recently went to no, sorry, I recently went to London because I need to renew my passport. So basically, and I also put that out like London vlog. So sometimes it's nice to have both, cancer and vlog. You don't need to put too much cancer, because then what it happens is that people are like, oh, there's a lot of cancer and it's a lot of information. It's just blows up your head, and I want to make sure like it's also jolly, like a fun and nice experience, but then also talk about cancer, but not too much cancer because it could be so much a headache for other people to see. So I try to make my vlogs very well, not short. It's longer than usual now. I think it's fun in a way to have both, like mixed feelings, actually mixed emotions and stuff. But I'm actually
Yeah.
really, really happy about that I finally share to people. And then there's so many people who are suffering from cancer. There are fighters, there are people who know their family relatives that go through, and that can relate to me, and honestly, like they feel great that at least they're not alone, and they can watch my videos. And basically my aim is to actually spread awareness, and I think that's the aim of the YouTube and me sharing cancer journey, was to um, share awareness about, because there's so many people who might be having similar cancer like me, because I've got blood cancer, and it's lymphoma, non-Hodgkin lymphoma, and some people might have in that area, but I have Waldenstrom magnolia. So that is a rare cancer type, and it only happens in B cells. So it has IgM. It's like it makes protein, like abnormal protein. So it actually attacks plasma cells. So it's abnormal plasma cells. If we talk about the disease itself, it's so rare cancer that and they call it complex because they were saying your scenario is you got enlarged spleen, and that time when I was diagnosed with cancer, they had a large tumors, or you can say large cancer cells, sitting in my stomach area. So things did spread because it started with bone marrow, and then it came in my stomach area, and my spleen was affected. So some organs were affected. So basically, they were like, we need to get we need to get your treatment. And my treatment was R-CHOP chemotherapy. So it's with the rituximab and the CHOP, the chemotherapy. It was which is very intense care, very intense. Obviously, the very horrible side effects I had, but I'm so happy with my family, my relative support. I was able to like ease the symptoms. My mom was with me, and I'm so thankful because my sister was there to help me with my injections in the stomach, to boost blood cells. So tablets, obviously, my mom was there for me like 5 days, and then after day 5, I used to go to my sister's place to get help with the stomach, the injections, because I was not able to do it. I hate injections. I so phobia of injections. So basically, I have been dealing with that 6 months around. I we can say 6 or 5, 6 months actually. But currently, I'm done with the R-CHOP chemotherapy since last year. Um, since from then until from October when I had my PET scan. They said something about the PET scan. Well, there are some, we don't know if this is cancer cells still or lymphoma, so they can't do it until they do lymph node biopsy, which they didn't. But until they, because there's a collarbone and my neck area, there's still some abnormal cells sitting. So currently they're saying 50% has worked and 50% hasn't worked, which really means that the chemotherapy, I mean, they also mentioned that when I was diagnosed, it was transformed disease. So it's expect that it was transformed disease, which means that I had both high grade and low grade. However, now they're currently saying because your cancer is being stable, which really means that the cancer hasn't spread. It's still so the IgM. If the IgM is more than 3.0, then they will be like concerned. Why is it 3.0? And it depends on also my symptoms. If so, what they look is for my symptoms, is it getting worse? My IgM, my blood test, is it going low again? Then they will give me chemotherapy. Otherwise, they wouldn't give me chemotherapy, or if something was happening again. But I think currently at the moment it's morely like stable now because it's 2.8 IgM. It was like 2.3, 2.7, 2.9 before, and then 2.8. So I think they're like, okay, this is nothing's happening really. So what they're looking for, a massive destruction, like massive change or something, so that they can give me treatment. So currently they're not going to do me any treatment. So it's wait and watch. You can say some active monitoring, they say. So they watch every closely 3 months time actually. So that's it basically. So at the moment, they're just checking me like every 3 months, and I'm getting that blood test, IgM. Obviously, they're going to check my spleen, but I was asked lady to check me because I'm not a bother from male. But my next appointment is in January, 9th of January. So hopefully, it should go well. I always pray, and yes, my religion is Islam, so I do believe in Allah. My faith is Islam, so when I say Alhamdulillah, that means thank God. Like I always thank for small things. I thank God. Like we have this gratitude, like you say. I just thank Allah for everything because without Allah, I'm nothing. Or Allah has made, created everyone. Basically, that's my belief. And I feel like my cancer is a blessing, disguised as a blessing, even though many people might not agree. I think I have mentioned in my upcoming vlog. So there's a lot of things I've mentioned already. There's a lot of like people think about, for example, cancer can feed sugar or sugar can feed cancer. It's a
Yeah.
myth, but people still follow that, and I still get those comments like do not eat junk food and everything. I also mentioned that in my upcoming vlog. Now at the moment I was just thinking, yes. My symptoms, how it started, to be honest, I felt like it started in 2020. So basically, I would say 2019, I noticed something like white hair in my head. I was like, why? And then I'm feeling it fainting. I get the hyperventilation, heart beating fast, palpitations. And I was like, what is going on with me? My friend used to say in London, I was living in London, she might be saying, yeah, maybe vitamins. I'm like, yeah, it could be winter vitamins and stuff. But then 2020, I was losing weight, like 6 kilos drastically. And it's like, wow, why I'm so thin? I haven't done anything. I didn't do any exercise or anything. What have I done? And I was in Manchester, and I had anemia. So I had like severe anemia. Like that's it. First it came mild, then it's severe because when you have periods, right? It was heavy. So from that I got anemia actually. That's what there. And I was on medication with that as well, but I had anemia, and I was like, okay, and I was shortness of breath, and I could. My YouTube started in 2020 in July 2020. So I can see the difference when I was talking, and I was like, oh, I was shortness of breath that time. So it looks like as if it was a part of it, but nobody noticed. And I did mention that I had anemia, but nobody paid attention. And until when I started, talking about cancer journey, they're like, wow, that. How did it started? So a lot of people said to me like, you won't know, but I said I already felt the symptoms, like nose bleeding already, fainting. I used to faint a lot. So I was like, what's going on? And I mean, I know I was anemic, and then obviously blood test every time. It's like, but they're not giving me any treatment. What's the point of doing blood test all the time? I used to faint all the time when I have blood tests because I'm so phobic of needles. Even though I got used to it, I got on my hands all the time. The IV. I didn't have port this time or anything. I just said just do IV, and I know it hurts a lot basically. But I just want to honestly, it was just painful, especially when they do it here and there. And I was like, just do it. And they couldn't find my veins, especially, chemotherapy can actually thin your veins. So it was really like they plugged like 3, 4 times on my hands. And I'm just like, do it, just do it, Um, I think on the third cycle of chemotherapy, I think they were telling me, we're gonna do blood test and everything, right? Oh, we can't risk it, we can't do chemotherapy third. I was like, what are you talking about? They plugged for 6 times. They couldn't find the way. It was pointless. And they're like, well, you are lacking a lot of white cells. We can't risk it. If we're going to risk it, then, it can attack you and you can die. I think that's what they were trying to say, but they never told me anything. The Manchester Infirmary as well. I mean, they were literally saying to me beginning before the chemotherapy, oh, you can be remission. And I think when I was in the last cycle, they literally broke my heart saying, oh, you're not going to be remission ever. I'm like, what? What? You just said that. Yeah. You're not going to be in remission ever. Like literally ever. I was just like, what do you mean? Because you can't be in remission. I was just like, but why did you say before chemotherapy, I'm going to be remission? And I was so excited, like last cycle. Yes, alhamdulillah, like thank God. And I'm going to be cancer free. But no, apparently not. And I think it was maybe my expectation. I was thinking maybe it's going to take 1 year to be cancer free, but I realized that it really takes time. Well, I've been told this is hard because last year in October for the PET scan, basically, I think well, when they said PET scan and they said 50% work, 50 not, and they also told me that some areas it went in your chest. I was like, what is the abnormal cells doing in my chest area? No, thank you. Or neck area. They're like, it's getting better, but it's just 50% has worked. That means you're partial remission. I was like, oh wow, I'm partial remission. That's kind of cool that you told me I'm in partial remission. At least I'm remission, like at least. But because 50% has not worked, obviously they're gonna keep on looking until they want to know what's 50% is doing in my body, right? Um, the Manchester Infirmary Hospital was very sure that what they want to do is like do another bone marrow to see, what's going on if, after, PET scan. And then they made sure that they want to do 2 years of rituximab maintenance. And I was like, oh man, I don't want to get a treatment, but at least I will know that my spleen maybe might be normal. Who knows, right? Um, and God knows, obviously. But I actually moved. I moved to in October to Christie Hospital, and the Christie Hospital were like there were 4 people in front of me. Well, one was student basically, and there was 3 people there, and they were like, you obviously with this treatment, with the treatment, chemotherapy, so on, and with this disease, they said to me like, you're gonna get short life. I'm like, huh? What do you mean short life? Oh no, you're not gonna survive. Like you're not gonna survive like the normal age 60, 70. I'm like uh, and there was 4 people, and I had my mom, and then gladly they didn't come because I was like, oh boy, um I was very I told my mom, and I remembered my mom was crying and on the phone. I don't know, I couldn't hear her properly, and I was like, Mom, I told you, now I feel good. Because I have to tell someone, I can't just put it in my heart. So I said, Mom, can you just hear the hearing foam, I told her, but I think she didn't get it maybe because this year I was told what age I could survive. I mean, I know that the doctors are not supposed to tell you that, but they're just telling you just to prepare your mind, perhaps, like what you're expecting from this disease. And they literally said, you can't be in remission because we don't see people. We rather treat people instead of cure. So there's no cure in my disease, which everyone's telling me, you can be cured, you can be cured. That's only up to Allah, meaning God can cure me, basically. I mean, doctors are just has given up. Let's just be very honest, because otherwise they would have left believe in me, and they would say, okay, fine, we'll do cancer free, however it is. but nobody is like giving me that hope. And I feel like I'm also having a second opinion from the well, I want second opinion. I know someone from London who is specializing in bone storm openly. I just want to know what they would do in this situation I am in right now, because they say your case is complex every single time. I hear from different oncologists. It is, so it's a one department and there's so many ethnologists, so I don't meet one person, I meet different people, so my brain is like, whoa, I'm so confused. I'm going to speak to them and chase up for the second opinion from London, because I know the doctor, I have met her face to face because we did some workshop and stuff, so that's how I know. But I want to know what she, because she might have may knowledge more than other people, because she is specialized in what I have, and she can let me know what she would do. Is it way to watch, or like is it like to monitoring, or is it treatment? And I just really want to know, because I was like not sure that Manchester Infirmary Hospital wanted treatment to give me 2 years rituximab, and Christie Hospital chosen, the cancer center has chosen not to. So I'm so confused right now, like why they're not giving treatment, at least figure out what to do with spleen because it's aching. I couldn't do my heart scan properly, like say they were doing heart scan, okay, it's normal. Because I thought I think with the speed and too much anxiety can cause my heart tightened. Maybe it's because from the chemotherapy, I felt that drips were coming and the heart was feeling a bit tightened. I think the reaction I got from rituximab, basically. So that's why I went to heart scan and got, just to rule out any, if I have any cancer, not cancer, so rule out any disease, heart disease, because my dad actually have heart disease problems. So that's why. So they just want to rule out any heart disease just to make sure that you don't have it, what your dad has actually. Because my dad's, alhamdulillah, like much better. Got a pacemaker now. So I'm just happy that he's better now. He was not well this year basically, but so much ups and downs I have to see. But I'm just happy that, like he's in better place. Like he's obviously he has pacemaker and he's fine now, like really better. Alhamdulillah, like and obviously he lives at my sister's place, so we have someone to take care of him. And so, um, but for me, right, I'm just waiting for to speak to them in January, so I can like talk through my concern, because really, like in the end of the day, I want to have a better care. I want someone to believe in me that I can get cancer free instead of just telling me give up. And it kind of like demotivate me, to be honest. Like, oh, I want to give up, and a lot of people say don't give up, don't give up. Maybe and everyone has different beliefs, so everyone. And I say it's fine to have different belief. I mean, I accept the way you guys are, but the thing is, don't force someone to believe something that they can't believe in. Do you know what I mean? Like people say, we believe in Jesus. I say that's absolutely fine. I believe in Allah, but don't tell me to believe something that I don't believe. And I think that's a lot of people are doing right currently. And I'm like, okay, I might delete that comment, or I will like. And I have mentioned in my upcoming vlog, because then they can see where I'm coming from. I just want everyone to be welcome. I don't want to ignore anyone's comments and stuff. I just find it rude. Being assertive, but be considerate also, because we don't know what other people are feeling that time at that time moment. But yeah, not forcing someone like that. So yeah, I hope I'm
Yeah,
sorry so much. It's too
I
much, but I
love
hope
it.
yeah. And
Wow,
yeah, but I know
that's
it's overwhelming. I know. So
yeah,
yeah,
it's incredible. I it makes me sad that that
yeah,
they've got you in this kind of confused state of, do I get
exactly.
treatment or do I lose hope? And
I just think also there. I say, when do I get treatment? Oh, when your cancer is going to spread. So I'm just thinking, that's not what I wanted. I
no.
don't. No, that's not what I exactly wanted. I'm like getting that spread. I know someone who is also a YouTuber, and I'm just hats off how she even. I think her name is May Mellows. I don't know her username. I forgot it, but yeah, May. She has a terminal cancer, and she uplifts me so much. Like our common is that we both go in the same hospital, but yeah, she has terminal cancer at 20 years old. So I don't know. I'm just like, girl, I'm just giving all love and hats off. Like, I don't know. And she's playing games, which is just a version of her. For me, right, I am a henna artist, professional henna artist. I've been doing it since 2015. So henna is a therapy for me. But during chemotherapy, I was not able to do henna. I mean, I don't know if you can see stain here. Can you see some stain?
I love
Yeah,
it.
so I do it like henna whenever I feel stressed and it kind of relaxes me, but only after chemotherapy because during chemotherapy, I know my hands were very sensitive and very dried. So I was not allowed to, for example, I was not allowed to have nail polish on. They were like, no, you can't have nail polish, you can't have nail extension, you couldn't have grapefruit. There were certain things, foods, and not allowed during chemotherapy because they were like, no, it will mix up with the other. So it was very, very intense 5 6 months basically. So many routines I have to check. I have to change a lot of things. So yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
I'm just thinking. Yeah, that's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you're a vegan too, right?
No, 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 no. I actually I'm lactose intolerant, so I try to drink as much water instead of juices. I do have juice, but it's just not always I drink because acidity problems. So I'm experiencing GERD as well, so I have to be very. My diet is really restriction because I got lactose intolerance and I have acidity issues, IBS. So I have to be careful what I and then cancer obviously on top of it. So I have to be honestly very careful what I eat. I don't eat really much because I have like low appetite at the moment. Sometimes I don't feel like eating it, and sometimes it makes me anxiety of eating. So I have a problem with that. And I expressed my concerns to Magis. Magis is actually a cancer center where they support. So there's a cancer support specialist that I actually go either Oldham or either the Greater Manchester. I go in both because whenever I go to my main appointments, I actually go to Christie Hospital, and I obviously the transport from the hospital is free. Because I can't walk properly, I'm actually still figuring out how to walk. Sorry, May. So I'm just figuring out how to walk properly because I sometimes twist my ankle. So I feel like my bones are really like painful. I mean, I still have back, so I'm just sitting like this because my back hurts still. And I honestly sometimes my hands get so stiff. Say I can't always hold this phone is really big phone, right? It's like really massive phone. Like screen is really big, right? I can't hold it like all the time. It's too heavy as well. I'm like, okay, I can't be bothered. I'm just gonna put it down. So it makes my hands stiff. But whenever in a really like not right now, my home is really heated, everything because it's so cold. Minus right at the moment in Manchester, I can't feel my head in here, and I have to wrap it really well. Basically, so I always wear under a scarf, and it's just to keep my head warm so that I don't feel cold all the time. Because it's really cold. It's winter. I'm not sure about what about you? Is the weather
Yep.
okay? Is it winter?
It's
Yeah,
cold here too. Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
Where was it you based in USA, right?
We, yeah, we're in USA and Texas. So it's not as
In
cold as some places, but I know it's really cold at where you're at right now for sure.
yes, freezing. So yeah, basically, I think what was I supposed to say? Basically, I also feel like my sometimes I mumble a lot. I used to have like speech, like really smooth speech before cancer, but after cancer, I felt like the speech is like sometimes I mumble and sometimes I can't correct myself and I'm like, oh gosh, I can't say it. Sometimes I'm just I think that has also affected. I think chemotherapy can also affect your speech. Basically, believe it or not, I've searched it and I was like, oh great, there's a research about it. Basically, so there's a lot of like research about things, like low appetite, obviously, because chemotherapy can make you low appetite, lose weight. They're really happy with my weight because I have literally gained a bit weight, you can say. Because before I used to be like 47 kilo, that was like underweight, be a low BMI basically. So they're saying we're happy that at least you're like normal and that's good. Keep on eating healthy food. Yeah. So they said to keep on healthy. You can have snacks as chocolate, but just not like the main part. So I've been like eating fruits. I love fruits. I've been eating banana, melon. I eat vegetables a lot, and then I obviously eat protein like chicken or eggs, or yeah, those two basically, or kebabs sometimes. And then as a dinner, like after my dinner, I like to have like snack, like biscuit, dark chocolate biscuit. I really like dark chocolate, so but I don't know what's with the milk chocolate. I feel like milk chocolate. I do eat milk chocolate, but I just feel like too much chocolate or too much milk chocolate. I feel like my tongue is like it's not giving good vibes. So I like dark chocolate. I think not too sweet. I think if it's too sweet, my nah, can't take it. I think there's something. I wasn't like this before, but I think the cancer and the chemotherapy, so much tablets on your tongue, it really makes a metallic taste. So I have to be careful with what I have as well. So despite I have cancer, I have experiencing GERD because I did biopsy in 2015, and they say you're just experiencing GERD. You don't have it, but you're experiencing it. And that time I was 4 years in medication for the acid, basically reflux disease. So I was like, now they're telling just change your lifestyle. Oh yeah, I've changed my lifestyle. And after that, now cancer came in 2021 when I was diagnosed, and because I was 31 years old. Um, I think the cancer has hit me so hard. I haven't like grieved fully. I would say I'm still like grieving, but I think I'm taking my time. Like it takes a lot of courage. What I did, what talk about truth about cancer on my blogs, Kemal blogs, basically it took so many months. It doesn't take like 1 month. Okay, you're fine. You're just gonna go. But no, it took me so many months, like to even talk like about it, like making myself stronger. I think you make yourself stronger, and then that's why I think people say you're stronger. You're a strong person, or you're inspired. I'm like, how am I inspiring someone when I'm do or die situation? I think cancer is a life changing experience, and I think I would never wish anyone to get cancer because it is dreadful, to be honest. Because cancer technically can kill you. Technically, if we talk about that, because sometimes people's like, no, it can't kill you. I'm like, oh, yes, it can. It can. There's so many things, like so many people have died from this cancer, this cancer. Some people may not have died from this cancer, some other reasons, but that is only up to Allah, up to God, basically, to know about who dies what and what from and when is our time is up, basically. Of course I believe in afterlife and Jannah, and there's Jannah, but obviously we do things in this world to go for Jannah, like heaven, I'm talking about. And so that's what I believe in. I just want to make sure people understand where is Islam, where I feel, what I believe in. It's sometimes not easy to talk about your religion because people start judging. Oh, she got hijab
Especially
from here.
right
Oh,
now, especially right
yeah.
now in society.
Not
Yeah.
not not accepting, not accepting. But I'm also happy that my hair is growing, but my hair is growing like a this instead of like this. So I don't know. Maybe I have to go out to a hairdresser. To be honest, I did not shave my head. I remembered my sister was saying, nah, just wait till. And it was so hard during chemotherapy to see, like when you brush like this, like saying without a brush, you just do like this, and you saw so much bunch of hairs. And I was like, I can't deal with this. Then I said to my mama, I will do it it was lockdown as well. And I said, last year, I said, Mom, I'm going to cut my hair. Let me just cut my hair. Should I cut my hair? And I was so wanted because it was so long hair and I want to cut my hair short. I was like, at least I can cut hair. I took that and cut it, and I was like, wow, I feel so relaxed now. I don't need to worry about too much bunch of hair like literally on the floor. And it was so embarrassing because my mom was like, whoa. And I used to like gather it, and I said, look, Dad, look, Dad, this is a bunch of hair I'm throwing. He's like, oh, go away. But you know what I mean? It's like, and my sister said, why don't you just cover your undercap so you won't look bad? And I felt so good when it was out. All the hair, literally all one strand even fall down. And my sister's like, just cover it. Nobody would notice. And I was like, you sure my hair is gonna grow? Of course it's gonna grow. I'm like, well, it's not growing. Don't worry, it's because of chemotherapy. After chemotherapy, it started to grow. I was like, oh my god, now I have those baby hairs, baby hairs, and it starts. I think it might take a lot of years to grow longer. Right now it's like till here. It's not like much. And I just need to get someone to set because it looks like a bunchy bob hair. So my hair, so I'm trying to wait. I'm trying to see like if I can wear like undercap so it doesn't look like bolder hair. My sister's like, whoa, that's a lot of hair there. So I'm so happy. I'm so happy, really, like to have now hair. I'm just like so happy because you also lose your hair, but you also lose your body hair, and you're like, oh boy, I don't need to shave anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You lose your body hair as well on your arms, especially. You're like, oh well. I don't need to shave, you know. Um, so everything's like now hairs has grown basically back as well. I'm actually funny as well, very friendly as well. But my hair has grown back, so I'm just happy like finally I don't need to look like, you know. I mean, I was saying to my sister like I look cute with a bald head. I've seen like people, you know, with henna, we can make it, you know, henna crown, but I wouldn't suggest anyone to wear henna during their chemo because chemotherapy because it can give you allergy reaction or you're very sensitive. I was very sensitive to henna. I couldn't stand the scent. So I wouldn't recommend anyone wearing henna during the chemotherapy. When you're done with chemotherapy and you feel better, then I will able to do henna. Because that's it took I think I 8 9 months I did henna on my hand. So so it took me a
Wow.
lot time. Yeah, I know it took a lot time to get back, but I did it on others, which I do feel a bit headache when I do on others because the scent it goes in my nose and I can't stand it. I still feel it, but sometimes you wear face mask and you would never know the scent. So I do wear a face mask as well every day because you know when I go out because you don't want to caught any infections. Especially for me now, I live alone. It's especially because my sister has we have so many big family, and this is the main reason I'm also living alone because now I have to take care of this house. This is a big house. I mean, big flat basically. It's one bedroom flat basically I live in, but it's really hard to be honest because I feel sometimes lonely because I feel like there's no one here. But then when I speak with so many, you know, subscribers, like how crazy, and I don't, never feel alone. There's always things I have to do. Like I watch my series, Indian series, for example, Pakistani series. If I find the story really nice, that very rare. If I watch dramas, Pakistan, very rare because I only like the story. I think the story, like storytelling, or I actually watch. I actually binge people's vloggers, like vlogs. Yeah, I like people's vlogs. I just like, oh, they got nice Christmas tree. Oh, so, you know, like accept people with their religion as well, but accept who they are. And I also try to make it festive, even though I don't celebrate Christmas. But it's always nice to have something festive, really warm and cozy vibes, so that you know what we do. I think everyone is might be interested what you do. You know, maybe you're not interested yourself, but maybe other people might be
Yeah.
interested what you do. And I want to know what people does in Christmas because I have no idea how they celebrate it. I know when I was in Denmark, we used to make advent calendars as a kid, and all I was
Right.
very like invited in this Christmas, you know, festive and everything, you know. So I did everything a lot, like in Denmark. I still miss my country basically, but I wish I will come back hopefully. But I think the traveling with them, I think I spoke to the oncologist if I can still travel. They say, yeah, unless, you know, you just have to be considerate about, you know, infections, COVID, mask, and all that. So about that, before they were telling me, you know, right after chemotherapy, you can't travel. You have to take, you know, at least wait 3 months. Some people just go straight away, which I have no idea. Obviously, they'll catch up, you know, COVID, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how do the people in travel? I can't travel, you know. Um, so I mean, I made sure that this year I'm not going to travel outside UK. I just want to make sure that I'm fine. Next year, I've spoken about because recent I haven't really like expressed much, but I think recently I grew about menopause. So I've got to know I'm post menopause even because I wasn't able to do pre-surgery. As I said, it was either do I dyshydrate, either do treatment or either you delay treatment. Which one do I choose? And which was important for me was very important the treatment, I guess, and that to be alive. I think to prolong your survival is really not easy to yeah, it's not really easy, really, to be honest, to even talk about this. But I think it was very important that time that I was just like, wow, because when I won the award, when they said K Hen artist, I was like, what? My name? Oh my god! Like that's my henna business called, and I'm on Instagram and Facebook. Um, but when they said my name, and at that time I was reflecting when I was winning the award, I was like reflecting, wow, last year I was where in the hospital diagnosis, everything, and I was like given another life, alhamdulillah. But this life, wow, Allah has blessed me more. I what I was actually wanted, to be honest, I wanted a studio for myself, and Allah blessed me a bigger apartment. It's a spacious.
That's
I mean, so this is what I'm saying. Like, wow, you know, God blesses you in a different way, but blesses you in a big, when we talk about gratitude, like thank God, thank you universe, or we thank everything, like even little bits, so small happiness really counts for me, and I it makes me happy. Henna therapy, like henna, makes me happy. Even I do on others, and it makes them happy, it makes me happy. I got two nieces, who's 3 months is going to be 4 months old, and one is 4 years old, and they make me so happy, like life enjoyment. I felt like, okay, so what? I don't have kids. I can't have kids, fair enough. I got two nieces, and I was blessed because I got two nieces, and they call me auntie. Well, here we go. And they're so pretty and cute. My sister's daughters are so adorable, honestly. They recognize me, so every single day I do a video call with them because they both misses me. I just went, I think yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think I went to their home, or 2 days ago, I think. Um, yeah, I think, yeah. And I went to their home, and I was like, oh, I miss you guys so much. Let's just meet up and stuff. So on Saturday, yeah, yesterday, sorry, not 2 days ago. Yes, Saturday, sorry. I just keep reminding myself today's Sunday. I thought it was Monday for some
Yes.
reason. But it makes me happy to meet them, and gift them as well. It makes me happy. You don't have to like wait till occasion wise or it's their birthday. You can just give them whenever you want. And it makes them happy. And I made a Christmas card, so I went to this workshop. It's a charity. It's actually called Look Good and Feel Better. It's a charity online based in UK, and they do workshops either virtual, it could be, or face to face. So they had makeup and skincare, techniques. And I went to Maggie's Oldham because different location they have actually in different areas. In Manchester, you can choose where you are, and they have matches centers in London. They have in every places basically. And I was like, oh wow, I'm gonna do skin makeup and skincare, and I'm so obsessed because I have so many products of skincare, but I never realized that those techniques. I'm like, oh, I didn't learn that way, and it's always nice, and I felt a
Hmm.
bit confident wearing. Right now, I have not wearing any makeup. The only thing I'm wearing is skincare because it's at home. I don't really wear makeup at home. I just try not to wear makeup at home. I at least basically because I can't be bothered. Only I want to go outside. I want to have to go somewhere like an event. Then I dress up, basically. So, but other than I'm just like just a normal girl, simple girl who just likes her own face, actually. You know, so
Yeah.
like flaws. Yeah, but flaws and stuff. And I just did a unusual hijab tutorial because I normally don't wear like this hijab. I always have the other hijab. I was just thinking, let's just experiment something today. So I mean, I also did a upcoming vlog. I also did a hijab tutorial. So I'm just like, oh my god, I'm just promoting myself here. So I'm just I would just say I'm quite like I know what I'm doing, but then there's one way me thinking, oh, I'm feeling a bit like when you win an award and you're thinking what's next. But then I'm thinking, might I just have to be myself? And I think people like henna. I just need to keep on continuing doing henna, but I don't know what they're expecting from me. And I feel like maybe I'm like feel pressured from other people, like what they expect from me and everything. Then I was like, no, just come on, just be yourself. Just be yourself. Just don't bother. Don't think too much, because they already know that you're dealing with cancer. It's not easy. And I've just signed up for recently. Uh, so basically, instead of they call Christmas because it's Asian community has also opened for like Christmas market. So it's called Winterfest, and they have opened for like Christmas, Santa, and everything, which is really nice to have an Asian community opening up, especially Muslim people opening up for Christianity and Christians. So that's really nice because that's what I like. I like people have that community, have able to, doesn't matter where you're from, but have the ability to share also because I know there's so many. I was thinking, let me do a henna stall at least for a Christmas market, and I applied. Then I was like, oh, that, and I'm doing right up north. I'm sure it's going to be more cold in Blackburn. I've been there once during my chemotherapy, which is crazy insane. And I told my parents, like, we went there up there. So I'm doing a stall, henna stall, and it's on 21st. Actually, they have on 20th and 21st at Ivy, what's it called? Ivy venue, wedding hall. I'm glad they're doing it because for kids, crafts and stuff, I'm so happy they're at least doing it. and I'm doing henna stall on Wednesday. I'm also going for Maggie's on 20th. They're doing it. I also asked them if I can do henna stall there, but they said next year. So it's nice to have, like,
Okay.
you can communicate people. Like, I also asked about look good and feel better, if I can do henna workshops, like, help people to
Yes.
learn henna. Like, I'm already a donor of something to look forward to. It's also a charity in UK, and I'm already a donor of henna artist as them. So I offer it monthly to people who applies it, and then, like, I meet in a cafe in Greater Manchester only, basically. So I because I know something to look forward to has actually given me, like, say, tickets. I actually went to this year to Windermere by train by myself, which was awful because I don't like trains. It goes really fast. My heart started feeling, anxiety and motion sickness, and also feeling the heart tightness. So all these emotions, I'm like, oh well, I'll just figure out how to deal with it. And I went to Midmere and I got the ticket for the Lake District cruises from the Something to Look Forward to. And I was like, if they can give me something, then I can give something back to them. Do you know what I mean? I like to give more than I like to receive. I think that kind of person, I like to give more. So for me, by sharing cancer journeys, me giving to people that you're not alone. I'm suffering, maybe I can relate to you. Perhaps you don't have the same cancer as me, but I can still relate to you, how you're feeling. It's fine. People grieve. People grieve in different ways. Maybe they don't want to tell, they just want to keep it to themselves, or they think too much. Like, um, I didn't really think too much about, like, what my family thinks. I think for me it was very important. I think my I won't say everyone knows about my cancer. There's still family friends we have in Denmark doesn't know about my cancer, and because my family doesn't want to talk about it, my dad hasn't talked a word about it. I think maybe because, cancer is a word that if we tell, it could be like an evil eye, or I don't know, something like in that lines. I don't know why they don't want to tell. I'm still figuring out. But I said to them, just tell them. Why do you want them to to know from the third party? Why do not tell it straight away? And I think that's, for me, it's very important that everyone knows, because then I don't need to, like, pretend to be fine. I remembered when I was doing my chemotherapy, there were relatives coming over my sister's place, and I have to disguise myself. It was so annoys me. And what I did is went to the relatives Instagram, write to her, and it's like, you tell your mom and daddy, you tell her, you tell them. And they're like, oh, and it's like, this is the main reason I was stepping away from you guys, stepping away. Oh, we understand. And I'm like, wow, you guys understand? Wow. I was a bit, like, nervous. And I told my family, yeah, but I told them, because I'm done being pretending and disguising, having nail polish when I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to be open, be free. Um, we're still planning to tell other people. I think it's just that if they can see me on YouTube, they would know who I am. And
Yeah.
data is there. And I don't need to, like, repeat myself. I think that's also the thing, that I don't want to repeat myself all the time what I have.
Right.
So I just tell people, just go on that video, you get to know what I have, because it's too traumatizing to talk about it, and it's too um when you repeat things and you're like, oh wow, that is real, that is
Yeah.
something's really, really, oh, that has happened, oh, that one. And when I look at back my videos, I'm like, wow, I was strong that time. How did I share that? And when I was chemotherapy, oh my god! But I didn't share my chemotherapy all that. I think the only the towards the end. I think chemotherapy session 4. I just want to let people know what exactly, how do we speak, because you know what, you get so many, like, pre-medicine. You get so many things, like, pre-medicine. You feel a bit dizzy and you feel drowsy and you're like, I can't vlog. Do you know? I Because it's so hard. I'm like, you're having so many drugs in you and you're really, like, blanked out. Currently I have chemo brain, so I forget things easily. So that's what I'm saying. When I was like, oh, well, when did I go? I forgot it. So, like, say I might forget what I said to you. So I'm glad you're recording it, so I can go back and see the video what I said. But I'm just saying I'll forget it very easily, and this is why I was telling my mom, like, please remind me. I got interviewed today. Please remind me. I tell my family everything. So, like, say what the doctor said, where everything. So they already know beforehand, before it goes on before it goes on video, go on YouTube. They already know beforehand, so that they don't ask me later on, like, why did you not say this to us? Why did you not say that to us? And but I already told them, so they already know everything. So I don't really hide anything from them because they're the first people to know. I think my sister was the one who said to me, go to the GP last year. If she didn't push me and give me a lecture for 1 hour, you should go to the GP, this and that and that. And she's like, I'm not hearing anything. You going to it. I think she already saw signs already, but she didn't want to say it. And she was like, let her first go and let's see what happens. And I think she told me about lymphoma. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And then when I looked at lymphoma, I was like, blood cancer? No, darling, I don't have cancer. What are you talking about? You're joking, right? But I know for a fact she was not joking, because she's mostly right. You have a big sister who has always right. Not always right, but I know she's mostly right. And I was like, okay, let me read about it. Let me read about it, what she's saying. Then the doctor said it, just prepare your mind before my diagnosis on 28th April 2021. Literally, they just told me that, oh, it could be lymphoma. I'm like, huh? No, 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 no. Why you're saying lymphoma? And they're preparing my mind, because I think, after ultrasound result, so all the scans I had in April, so I had a bone marrow biopsy. I went under general anesthetic because I said to them, like, I'm not going to have more pain. I was already suffering from spleen pain. I was like, and my bones were already tender that time. So I said to them, I don't want to feel more pain. Please just do under anesthetic. And I also speak to my GP if they can make my consultant understand, because they were like, no, we don't recommend you this and that. I'm like, okay, let me just go back to my GP, let them know, give them a letter to them. And that's how they agreed. So if they don't agree and they don't recommend, you can always go back to your GP to tell them, that's what happened in my case. So that's what I'm saying. The main reason I moved to Christie Hospital was initially the consultant. I didn't feel like she understood me, or I felt like, not mixed signals, but I felt like she was not accepting the way I was, like, because I have anxiety. It was so unconscious. Now you're not anxiety. I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? Are you not accepting the way I am? And she was morely not giving me. She was email. Basically, my sister actually works in doctor field, right? So she was emailing my sister instead of me. So that was a clash, I felt. And I felt like, you know what? And me and my sister, we also talked about this. And she's like, well, that's more like because I know the term. And I was like, yeah, but I think the consultant should be with the patient, not just via
Yeah.
you and with me. But she didn't understand that either. So I said, just leave it. Let's just go to the, just go to the result day. And I was very focused. I'm like, yep, there will be a lymphoma word. And I already like told my sister I got maybe bone stump because already an ultrasound result, they already said you got 30 centimeter your spleen was. I'm like, oh wow, that's why we need to do bone marrow biopsy. And it was not even one day that they have given me. It was like less than 24 hours. So I have to make my brain ready. Wake up, wake up. Next day is the anesthetic, and you just have to do bone marrow biopsy. So I know, right? It was like last minute. Oh, you have to go to hospital. You have to do this. So I'm just happy that April 2021, all the tests, CT scan was on my birthday. So I didn't get any. I didn't get any week to get fine from bone marrow. I had only 4 days. After 4 days, then I got my CT scan. They said we don't have any other timing. So that was so painful to even yeah. So I got my CT scan, then my PET scan before my chemotherapy, then the chemotherapy in May. I said, can I just have my Eid first, and then I go, because I don't want to go on the Eid day. That's just, they're like, okay, fine, but we have to hurry. It's just happy that I'm glad at least even 50% has worked, because it's better than nothing, to be honest.
So with that confuses me right there.
Yeah,
Because you've got one hospital saying that
yeah,
there's some treatment maybe, and then another
yeah,
hospital saying there's no treatment. Is that what I'm understanding?
yeah, yeah.
But then and then who are the ones saying that you're 50% in remission?
That was the Christie Hospital.
And they're the ones that were saying that you'll never be in remission?
They say it's very rare case you could be in remission, but they were like, it's there's no cure. Literally, it's complex case for you. So what they're trying to say, that we are trying our best what we to do, because they have this a multidiscipline team. So it's not only just one that decide. There's hematologists, there's oncologists, there's nurse specialists, there's radiologists. There's so many people sitting in the team talking about, okay, this is Kamal's case. What should we talk? What should we talk? So that's what they're doing. So maybe they have decided that maybe she doesn't need now treatment, because if we need to give her another, like if we need to give in the future treatment, we might give her later on. That's what they're deciding, and that's how they function. And they kept telling me, go back to normal routine. I was like, how do you expect me to go normal routine? I still have bone pains. You guys haven't really
Yeah.
helped me with that. Still no, I still get back pain. So this is like the pain I have at the back, and so all the spine till the end. I also said I got headaches. Oh, you will get that because it's part of the form, and I get night sweats every single day, itchiness. So I itch all the time. I feel a bit sometimes like lightheaded, so I have to sit down all the time, because if I walk too much, my head's gonna be like this, and my body will feel collapsed. So I have to be careful of not walking too much or not overdoing. So today's been like, I don't cook every day. Let's just say I don't really use the hob, but it's clean everything. I only make like sandwiches with like to go, want to go and then eat and have melon, or I know it's not enough food, but it's what I can eat. If I'm hungry, then I make, maybe I'm like, okay, I got eggs, I can make something. But I just had my sausages, chicken, halal basically. So that's what I eat with the bread. That's something. It's better than nothing. Just
Yeah.
happy that, yeah, yeah. Just whenever I feel hungry,
Yeah.
then I feed myself, because I have to listen to my body in the end of the day, right? I can't just ignore. Before I used to ignore, now I feel like you have to listen to your body. If the body needs to go to the bathroom, you have to go to the bathroom. You can't delay it, because your body is going to not like it. If your body's saying I'm hungry, you feed it. If your body's saying you're thirsty, you're gonna drink. So I've been like listening to my body since chemotherapy, which is crazy insane. Say for example, chemotherapy time, day one, obviously all the symptoms was worse. I was like, even day one having 14 or 12 tablets a day. Like, how insane is it with anti-sickness? I still function, but I was
Wow.
not able to use my phone because social media has negative. I'm like, oh, I'm not leaving that. I'm just really resting. And I was listening to so Quran, basically. I like to listen to Quran. It kind of gives me the relaxing, feeling like, oh, it's healing me, it's healing me. I kept saying, Mom, it's healing me, just put Quran, I'll listen. Because that time I was on the bed, I couldn't do anything. My mom was the one who was cooking for me, helping me to, okay, you need to take tablets. Like, well, Mom, I can't do it. Yes, you can do it. Give me that motivation. So I used to live alone. I mean, my sister, when I moved to in 2021, alone basically. It was in city center. I lived in Manchester, so quite far away from my family. They live in north, and I live south. So I was like traveling. It was not easy to travel back and forth, especially the taxi. It was just horrible. But I'm so happy that now I live quite close, you can say, not really that far, but I live close to my family at least. So if I need any help, they can come over. It's not that far. Like, it doesn't take 1 hour to get home here. So I'm actually happy, at least I'm living a bit closer to them. So they say, if I need help, like say I can come to their place. I am planning to come over, Christmas holidays, because my sister's having anniversary on 26th. So I need to figure out if I can get some gifts as one time. Because I was planning something to do, and we might go somewhere else. And there's a lot to do until New Year. So I'm so busy. I'm so like all the time busy all the time. So I'm glad I was able to share my story with you. All I can
Yes.
say, all I can say, there's one thing I want to say. All I can say, when you look for the symptoms, you have to think about bruising, because I had severe bruises last year. I was like, whoa, what happened to my leg? It's all like, I was like, what did I do? Where did I bang myself? And bleeding. I used to get nosebleeds like 20 minutes. It stopped like 20 minutes. It was continuous. I don't know what happened. I think I was searching something for my makeup, and I think I got a big cut, and it didn't stop for like 1 hour. It stopped for 2 hours.
Wow. That is
I mean,
not normal, is it?
no, because when you're low, when your blood cells were white blood cells, red blood cells, white platelet and platelets, when they're all low, that means there's something wrong. I thought for a reason, I knew for a fact I had blood disorder. I didn't know I had cancer, and I was like, not really like when I was having my bone marrow biopsy. right? And I was sitting with people like in the ward. I thought they were like, one has stomach cancer, and wow, like hats off, like she had gallbladder, she had bladder and she has that, and the other person was having surgery done, and I didn't know. It didn't ring my bell. I was like, yep, I don't have any cancer, like I know for a fact that bone marrow was to rule out any cancer. I was like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm chill. My dad used to say, I'm sure you'll be fine. And then when I went to diagnosis day, and he said, you'll be fine, you're fine. It is fine, right? I'm like, Dad, can you come to the room, please? and, then, and then I told him, and I think he had tears in his eyes. I saw him like not like crying, but I could see those tears are coming out. My mom cried. I was like, Mom, don't cry here. People are watching. I'm also hiding my tears, you know in
Oh
the
my
hospital. I
gosh.
told my mom, I said to my sister, let's just take mom because we don't want to repeat what's been said. Let's take her. And then you can tell her, or I can tell her, you tell her. She's like, don't worry, I'll tell her. I was like, what did you tell her? And then she started crying. I said, what did you tell her? Oh, nothing. I'm like, nothing, Mama, I have this. And she's like, and then she started crying. I was like, Mom, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. We'll do it. We will do it. I think for me, right, I took this as a blessing, right? But also me thinking I didn't take it really well, the news, because when I think I already like told social media that, on Instagram especially, I don't think I have it. I think because I already knew I had it, and people are telling me you don't have it. Don't say you have it. And I was like, well, it's true, right? And when my followers like, you don't have it, you'll be fine. I say, guys, don't talk to me. I have it. I have this, dealing with it. I'm gonna get chemotherapy. So everyone knew along K artist, especially on that story, not on Komal vlogs, because I was like silent mode there. So that's why I was not able to talk on YouTube either. So I was very silent mode. I was on K because it's henna, then I can tell people there. I have got most followers there basically. So I told people like, yeah, just do dua for me, I'll be fine. I had a smooth bone marrow biopsy because all the prayers. I think prayers really help. That can change your faith. Say, say a doctor say you have 7 months living, and that person's grieving, and then the person's asking, can you pray for me? Everyone praying for them, and that person has lived more than 7 months. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. The doctors are not God, let's just be honest, and doctors
No. Yeah.
cannot guarantee you, or they can't tell you exactly what age, but yes, because they told me they had to be. I think they knew how I was, like very straightforward. We can't hide from thing from her. I've noticed that when people, when I speak to people, they are honest with me because they know I'm very honest with them. Like I'm very straightforward, rather than beating the bushes and coming back to the
Yeah.
topic. But I just think people should know if you find any lumps. So I think most of people have told me, like, if we saw any lumps, we have lumps in our neck, I said just go to the doctor, because it could be both cancerous or non-cancerous. So if it's non-cancerous, then maybe it's just cold and viral infection or what it is. But if it's
Right.
in cancerous, you can at least save your life. That's the
Yeah.
most, I think that's the best gift ever, save your life. And I'm also fundraising for Macmillan Cancer Support UK, 10,000 pounds goal, because they have helped me. So I'm helping those who has helped me with grant. For example, one grant, they have given me payment. So they gave you that like over 300 pounds, something, I can't remember, rocks basically.
Well, and that's a question that I have for you actually is
Yeah,
because I know here in the United States, you have to
yeah,
have health insurance to get help. I think we
yeah.
have something called the Indigent Fund that helps maybe people that don't have insurance. But like for me, for instance, I don't have insurance and
I
I
don't
don't
have
know what I would
insurance either,
do.
but
So,
I could look
okay.
into it. Yeah, I
So
don't.
do y'all have to have insurance in the UK or do y'all have free health care?
I don't have insurance, but when you actually live in UK, you have at least UK address and you register yourself with GP, then you automatically are funded by NHS. So we have NHS, basically government is the one who's paying it. So government's paying the NHS. The NHS is actually giving you free for whoever who lives in UK. And when I was living in Denmark, it was free because we supposed to have this card. It was in Danish, Suzuki's card. It's like health health card basically you're supposed to have, because you were living in Denmark address, and then you were even the most of the education was free. I studied there, but I moved because I wanted to study in London. But apparently I got it in Leeds, an unconditional offer, because I was doing filmmaking. And my sister was close by in Liverpool, so I thought, okay, fair enough, let's just go. But I sacrificed my dream. I was like, Mom, I want to go to London, you know. But I mean, I had four condition offers in London for filmmaking, and everyone was very pleased and very welcoming. But I was like, why? Isn't my English enough? But they want me to do IELTS. So, so apparently, I was like, oh man, I have to make my decision really quickly. So I said, okay, fine, Leeds. But then I moved to Huddersfield because I want to do something else than filmmaking. So 1 year filmmaking, and then I did animation, motion graphics because I was very into the effects and everything. And I think that was more me basically. I'm so happy that I did it, and because it has graphic design and everything what I've learned in Denmark, I've had that ability to implement in the studies I was doing. And my obviously my aim was to find a job during the but I think I was looking for a job, but I didn't know in 2020 lockdown and things did not go great. So I was like, maybe I think God was telling me, no, no, time out here. Because 2018, 2019 in London, I was actually working as a customer service advisor and marketing business. Basically, I was doing that for months. And then obviously that was in London. But when I moved to Manchester, I think that is when I felt like I wasn't well and everything. And I think God was telling me, no, it's time out, you don't work. Felt like that was the sign that God was not giving me work. I was like, why am I not getting a job? Lockdown and everything. Now I'm like, oh, 22 now, feeling not well. Anemia. I'm like, oh gosh, what's going on? And then 2021, cancer. And I was like, oh well, this is part of my life. This is not whole of my life. You know, when we say cancer cannot define you, I think a lot of people think that, it can define you, but I think cancer
Yeah.
cannot define you. And I think just accept us as how we are. But I think a lot of people say I have changed. Perhaps maybe I've changed in a way that I've now started to be more religious, or started to be more listening to my body, started to feel like, no, what I feel like. Maybe I stopped pleasing other people, perhaps that way I can say. You when you focus on yourself, that's a more blessing. If you can start taking care of yourself, then that's a big job. I think this is a job responsibility to take care of yourself. So if I'm living alone, I have to take care of myself. I have to make sure I don't say if I don't eat any hours and hours, obviously I will faint, and that will be a problematic. And my sister has extra keys and card, so the landlord was very nice that they give an extra key. So in case if I don't feel well and I don't pick their phone, they can come over and see me. So that's a good thing. Some landlord I would say are not understandable, but I'm so happy with this landlord I have, very understanding, knows about my cancer, knows everything. So it's just nice to have. And I just had a just wish them Christmas gifts and Christmas cards.
Yeah.
It's
So
it's
you have
nice.
a good support system. So you
Yeah,
have your
yeah,
family, and yeah, I'm so really glad to hear that you do, because I know some people don't have anyone. Um,
yeah. But I think sharing on YouTube is also like, not being alone. I think because when we talk on the camera, it's like, oh, there's no one here, or nobody's listening. It's just us
right.
talking. But I feel like people are listening. People want to see, because when you become lonely and you want to see other people's vlogs, and you don't feel alone, like, oh, you can write down and you can socialize, and it feels nice, like how I'm connecting with you. Like, it's really like, wow. I think YouTube is a very empowerment of things, like how we can share what people love to share. Like, say people have crafts, they want to share how to do crafts, and it's nice to have people around, especially supportive people and positive people. I wouldn't say negative people. Some people are just wrote to me yesterday. I was like, why I was like, but you haven't seen my videos, and you're typing so weird comments. I'm gonna delete that.
Yes.
It's
But
not uplifting.
I think that's how why we were, well, to be
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
We're meant to be a body of Christ in my
Sorry,
beliefs.
sorry. I just need
And
to put battery. 2 second. Sorry.
yeah, yeah, it's okay. Um,
2 second. Yeah. Sorry about that.
just 1 minute, folks. She's gonna plug her camera in, um, and she'll be back with us. but I think that she's just got a remarkable story. And it's just, I'm sure it can be very confusing when you have a set of doctors saying one thing and then another set of doctors saying another. And where do you fit in that? I think it's really important to have the beliefs, whatever beliefs you have. Um,
Sorry about that.
no, good. I'm glad that you're back.
How do I show myself? I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, start camp, right. Yeah, it's
Ah,
just that my battery died, so that's why.
oh, that's good. I'm glad you're back.
I'm
No, I
glad.
was just saying that, you were talking about the whole YouTube
Yeah,
community and even though we're like talking to a camera or whatever,
yeah,
people can comment and people are feeling you. It's just like,
yeah,
because I'm like you, I watch people's vlogs all the time and
yeah.
I just think it's important for us to stay together. And that's partially why I have this channel here is to unite people and to get people talking. And
I'm
because I
so
feel
happy
like,
to be your first guest, and it's
me
always a
too.
pleasure. I was just like with concern, I'm like, who am I talking? Is it male or female? But I was looking at
Yeah.
your page, I was just like, no, she's a female, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Well, Kamal, thank you so much for sharing your story and everybody that's listening here. I just ask you guys to go and support her and her channel, and I'm going to list everything below in the description. And you also have a GoFundMe. Is that still going?
yes, 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 until £10,000 for Macmillan Cancer Support. So I was thinking like if they can donate,
Okay.
because anyone can donate. Because I remembered, I think from Canada people donated, so anyone can donate. I mean, I so far it's £388. I've
Yep.
actually raised, which is good because I really want to help people as much I can help people, and it makes me that feel like support people, because I know there are so many people who has suffering from financial problem, and if we can help many people as much we can save so many people's lives. And I think in the end of the day, um before, if I'm going to be honest, before I met this young lady. Well, she's a mother. She's also going through a lot, and I met her face to face. And I didn't understand initially, but it was at the Bolton for the first time I went, and there was an event for Asian event and everything. And I got to know. I was like, she's saying she's raised. She didn't say it's for herself. She was just saying it was raising for cancer support or something. Oh, okay, I will give support. Then I realized afterwards, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, sis. I did not know that it was you. It was about you. And you came all the way just to be there. And it's about your story. And they were actually raising funds for her surgery. How
Oh,
wonderful is it? Like 70, over 70 stalls, and one lady who was organizing like
wow.
and they have raised so much money for her surgery, because that surgery, for example, NHS can't fund it because it's too costly or it's too expensive. So I'm just happy. I mean, she still has surgery. Her son was also unwell, so I don't know exactly, but all I know, I speak to her. So that's a nice way, because I also have another account on Instagram. I only haven't added people. I mean, I haven't added my relatives, my family, because it's too overwhelming information. But it's my cancer journey 21. So anyone who is dealing with
Oh,
cancer or cancer fighter or whoever it is, I will add them in that page and on
okay.
Instagram. But
Oh,
there's too many information. So there was a lot of information, like when I went to chemotherapy, images, visuals, and everything. So I don't want to post it too much on Instagram because it's too overwhelming. It might just go someone's head. When I talk about it, they were like, wow, we were heartbroken when you shared. And I'm just
yeah.
happy that I was able to share even on KH Artist, on Komal_blogs, but also on YouTube, because I think every platform now, and also in TikTok as a play. So TikTok's Komal Blogs one. That's my account basically on TikTok, and KH Artist Komal_blogs. That's my Instagram account. Um, but I and YouTube Kamal blogs, obviously. Um,
Yes.
but that's
And
it.
I always say if everybody just donated even $1,
Yeah,
on my channel that would be at least $500.
yeah,
A dollar goes so far. So and if you can't donate financially, monetarily, just to subscribe helps people so much to build their
yeah.
channel, and people like you that
But,
you're not
but
able to
also,
work at the
like, if
moment.
if they can't help financially, maybe just share the link.
Yeah.
and give it out to people. Like it's
Yes.
like, I mean, it can be found on Kamal blogs basically. So it says the description. I always mention in every, hopefully every video I can mention about the funding raising page, because it's very important that I share that to people, because now I feel like it's good for me, because I started last year and I'm so happy that I raised until like £388. I also including myself, because I always wanted to share that as well, and support people. And I supported the other lady as well, because there was, say because some people have donated cookies and cream and all desserts, and I was like, okay, this one I want that, and I got it for £6, but I'm actually donating towards her, and it's already donating towards her. So it's nice, nice to save other people's life and also speak to
Yeah.
them. And so I have spoke to Tiffany things as well when I told her that, and I spoke to another, I think her name is Abia Khan. I think she is Tokyo's mother-in-law. Basically, she also have cancer. She has a rare cancer as well, and she does mention about it. And I'm so happy that she's able. I'm able to talk to her, and she has responded. So I'm able to speak to people who had cancer, and I'm also in a support groups, Lymphoma Action. So Lymphoma Action is also a charity. It's in based in UK, but they are very helpful, especially on Facebook. Say I'm feeling down, and there are people reacting to my comments, and it's nice. And they also do like every month they do support group. So I'm actually registered to Greater Manchester, and there are people, maybe different hospitals, and it doesn't matter where basically, but they can able to talk about, or I can have young persons. I am, and now I've also applied for active monitoring for those people who are active monitoring. So it's like a nice to have support group around. I'm only now going to Maggie's because there are workshops that I enjoy, like so art expression. I went recently, and art. If I'm because I'm very artistic, so I would like to paint and draw, and just
Yeah.
my mind. It just helps so much, like with anxiety, it relaxes you so much. So I'm just happy, Yeah,
I'm so
that's it.
glad, Kamal, and I hope to continue to support you as well, and hope to stay
Thank
your
you.
friend, and vice versa. And I think this is great, and maybe we can have you on again later on, just to have a fun talk, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Maybe I can update you. Where am I now after such a long, before how
yeah,
I feel? And I think that could be interesting because, right now this is what I'm going through. Maybe later on, like say next year, it might be different. And also next year I am having, I don't know, but I think they have talked about hormone therapy replacement. That's for the menopause. Yeah, to help with the menopause symptoms, hot flushes, bladder issues, or because that's what I have been dealing with, and also but yeah, they're going to talk to me face to face, because I said to them, can you just give me face to face and let me know exactly what I need to do or not to do? Because currently they have done bone scan, and I've mentioned that in my previous video as well about bone scan, because they want to know whether my bones, because I feel like I'm easily being twisted and everything. So is it because I'm actually losing bones, or is it because it's bone thinning? Osteoporosis. Then I got to know my mom has osteoporosis. So it's like, oh, crazy. I never knew that part. But do you know what I mean? Like they just want to know now, like what's going on with me. And I think it can enhance my mood next year. I feel much better and less anxiety. Maybe because I have anxiety, depression, and I feel like really low mood all the time. Maybe because of the menopause symptoms and all that can, post-menopause symptoms can make you feel that. So I'm so happy actually, really. So yeah. Oh, what are you writing?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
just to
Yeah.
support your channel,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that is
Just
correct,
thinking
right?
what's going
Kamal
on there.
Vlogs. Ah,
Yeah.
I know it's weird, right? It's crazy. Yeah. So, and like I said, I'm gonna put all of that in the description,
Yeah.
along with the GoFundMe for Maggie's, and
Should I just send you the
um,
link on Instagram? I can send you
yeah,
the link and you
yeah,
can copy paste if you want. And
that would be perfect.
yeah,
Yeah.
just remind me
All
that I need to do
right.
that because I'll keep forgetting it, things and stuff. I hope you actually got the a lot of information, but I think it was very necessary for me to tell it exact, because
Yeah.
you can't really like go in the middle and jump somewhere up. I have to tell you initially from start to end, where am I at, how did it start, and then what's going on, and to understand what has
Yeah.
been through. But I think now I feel really like relaxed, because it looks like it was a venting session for me, but just to talk about it, just feel relaxed, like literally, like I can. just feel okay about it, basically. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we were able to give you the platform to do that,
Thank you.
and please reach out to me anytime you want to talk, because
Sure.
I would love to be there for you.
Oh,
And
thank you so much.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. It
Well,
means a
all
lot.
right, Kamal.
Thank
I'm so
you.
glad. Yes. Thank you again, and let's keep in touch.
Yeah, sure, sure. Thank you so much. Thank you for
You're
in.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Take
All
care.
right, Kamal.
Do
Bye.
I just leave here? How do I leave? Do you end it yourself?
Okay, I'm going to.
Thank you. Thank you. Take
All
care.
right, Kamal. Bye.
Do I just leave here? How do I leave? Do you end it yourself?
Okay, I'm going to